Okay, so I want to go over the one-sheet rules that I'm going to be using for Cyberpunk, my little next campaign. I would use a Cyberpunk RPG, but I don't really know that system yet, and I really want a system that's super easy and quick for my players to learn. If we like the Cyberpunk setting, we may actually continue to learn that system, but for now, this is what I'm going to run and test. This is a very super short one-page rule set. Um, Now, this isn't supposed to be everything. This is supposed to be the core set of the rules, and just like the character sheet. All the rules are on the character sheet, aside from anything that we're going to pull from other rule sets. So I know that sounds kind of weird, but the all the core stuff for the character sheet and how to build the characters should be on here. Now, anything I add will be pulling from other rules, and I will announce those to the players beforehand, or we'll talk about adding them as we go. So we're going to start off. You just got your character name, description, experience, archetype and education, race, size, and movement. Now, the race, size, and movement, for example, this isn't an exhaustive list. There's a room for other slot. This is basically tying your speed and your movement tied to your size. Sounds bad, but if you're shorter, at least in this, you're moving slower. Sounds bad. You might be faster, but like as far as agility, but in this system, if you're short, you're slower. And as far as your size goes, this if you're bigger, you're easier to hit. You're smaller, you're harder to hit. Simple as that. Archetype and education. So this is the mix of what in 5e would be your background in your class. In this system, there is no classes. There's not crazy abilities. How that works is you'll just tell the DM what you want to do, and the DM decides if you're proficient or not. This is a very DM heavy system. The DM, if you're a min-maxer, this sucks for you. This is, the DM there's a lot of leeway in the DM's discretion here. They get to decide almost 75% of how this rolls. Experience the levels work, but in this there's no max level cap. There's no special abilities. The only thing that level affects is going to be like your proficiencies and the points that you can put in your abilities. So going into this, after all of that top description stuff, we're going to have abilities. You start with 5 points to spend to a maximum of 3 plus your level. Every level you gain 1 to spend. So at least at the start, you can have a max of 4. You get 5 points, so putting 4 points into any one of these gets crazy. Strength and Constitution, Dexterity and Agility, Wisdom and Intelligence, Charisma and Wit. Those are the ones you can put points into. Profession and Proficiency are based on your level. So if you're a level 2, you'll end up having a 1 here. If you're a level 4, you'll have 2, and it's rounded up. So if you, say, are a soldier and you know how to use guns and you want to put some points into agility and dexterity so you're better at shooting guns, say we put 4 points here. We put 1 in strength and constitution, for example. So we put 4 there. And then say we're second level. So we have a +5 to attacking with our ranged guns. Simple as that. It's meant to be really easy, really new person friendly, and it's easy. Then all of these skills will tie into other things as we go. So health. So is equal to your strength and constitution bonus plus your size plus 1 per level. So there's no dice. There's no hit dice. If you want to be tougher, you put your points in your strength and constitution. Now, if you're bigger, you got more hit points. There's more blood body parts to work with. And you have +1 per level. Simple as that. Magic, psionics, and science. In this, your successfulness with magic, psionics, or science abilities, or any other sort of magic or unexplained phenomenon are all based on your wisdom and your intelligence. Now, this is super simple. If somebody wants to cast a spell, they say, hey, I want to cast a fireball. Okay, roll. Based on how well you do, the DM decides on how much damage you do. It's super simple. Once again, this is meant to be really easy, and I will probably make a chart or table for my players depending on what we're doing, so I can flesh it out a little bit more for them, but it doesn't need it. This is a pick up and go. They don't need all of that. Now, this also includes your proficiency and your profession. So, magic psionics. So, like, if you are a scientist, you trained for this. You went to school for this. So, you should add your proficiency and profession to this. If you were a wizard and you studied this, so that makes sense, right? So, and it's the same thing with attacks. Why should a spellcaster not add their proficiency to their magic and science and psionics? So, once again, say we had 4 in wisdom and intelligence, and we were 2nd level, we'd have +5 to any rolls doing magic and psionics and science. Now, armor class. Now, the old version of this counted size, and that's kind of an optional thing here. I didn't want to punish people for size, but I can still, depending on what world we're playing in, we can add that. But currently, in this iteration, it's your dexterity and agility plus your armor plus 10. This used to be a percentile system that I turned into a D20 system. D20 system's easier, and it feels much more like D&D, plays a little more like D&D. So, for example, if we were coming down to this chart down here, and I was wearing a gambeson, it's just +1. So I'd have say we put 4 points in dexterity and agility. It'd be 4 + 1 + 10. So that means I would have 15 armor class. Simple. Once again, 4 points is a lot at first level. Now, as we go higher, there's a lot more bonuses. So this should scale pretty similar to D&D, but it may go higher with the bonuses, in which case I may have to fuck with the system a little and get it to be more in line later on, because I still want to play somewhat like D&D. So weapons. This is really easy. Everybody can use tiny, small weapons. That'd be like your daggers, your derringers, any sort of simple small weapons. Everybody can use them. You don't have to have proficiency or whatever. So like a scientist could use a knife or a dagger or a small handgun. But that scientist is going to have a hard time using like a M4 machine gun. But your soldier will be proficient with it in his background, but that soldier also probably wouldn't be able to use his proficiency and profession to his magic, psionics, or science. So, once again, this is very much the player tells me what they want to play, and we discuss, hey, here's some things that you would be good at, and then apply that in here. Armor. So, I took some stuff from D&D to make this work out really well, but half movement speed when not proficient with armor, that's a little harsh, but I think it's fair. If you don't know how to wear armor and you're not used to it, there should be a cost. Now, anybody can wear simple armor. So, I've got some modern armor in here, but gambeson, leather, stud leather, it's pretty light armor. Almost everybody can figure out how to use it. Now, when you start getting into steel, heavier armors, that's where it's like, okay, you need a little more training to be able to do that. Modern armor. Now, this is where it gets a little complicated because this mimics real life a little bit, whereas your like level 2 armor is really only good against handguns. But it's simple, so, everybody can throw on a vest and walk around with it. This level 2 armor in real life is like 4 or 5 pounds. Very light, very easy. It's hot, but it's very light. Now, level 3A, still very light. Better against shotguns, handguns. Now, start getting into the heavier stuff, like your level 3 or your level 4. That's where you probably need to be in like a soldier background, for example. Someone who's trained with this kind of stuff. This system did not used to have actions, but I really like the simplicity of the action system in D&D, so I basically just took it. Instead, we use a 3-point system per turn. So an attack with a proficient weapon is 2 points. Attack with a non-proficient weapon is 3 points. So you can still make attacks with your non-proficient weapons, but it takes you longer. You're not as good at it. There is also a full attack. You get 1 extra attack for 3 points with a proficient weapon. I need to put that in here, but it's not on here. But that extra attack is at a -5. You're rushing. You're being crazy about it. Let's take its time. Casting a spell. Casting a spell takes about the same time as or using psionics or using magic, so it'll take the same time as an attack. Just for simplicity's sake, we might change that later. Dodging, simple thing, takes your full turn, gives you +5. This system is really good, so if somebody wants to move through easy terrain, it's a point. If they want to use a gun, they can do that at the same time, so that's a full turn. Moving costs something in this game, in this system. So it's always 1 point to move unless you're moving through heavy terrain. And that's more of a discussion. So like if somebody wanted to use an item, that's 2 points. So if you wanted to use like reload your weapon, or you want to use a potion or something, that's 2 points. You can still move. And then here's the other part. If you want to draw your weapon or draw something or draw a potion, that's 1 point. So it's 1 point to draw, 2 points to drink. That is your whole turn. Now you could attack on 1 turn, draw your potion, and on your next turn drink it, and then move, for example. Helping an ally with a +2 bonus is 2 points. Moving through rough terrain is 2 points. Now, we have double movement in this system, which is 3 points. It's a full turn. Skill checks, which we don't have skills, but anything dealing with like climbing or something like that, or any what we would consider in 5e normal skills, there's a 2 point check. So you could move and do a skill check. You can grab an item, do a skill check. But yeah, you can kind of see a theme here. It's very similar to like D&D system, but it's just all on one sheet. Then you got abilities, notes, and gear. That's literally everything. Just start playing. Like, you can hand this to people, explain it to them in 5 minutes, and you don't need any other rules. You could add or edit anything in here. You can steal this and do whatever you want with it. Like, this is a very simple, plug and play. Now, if you wanted to add actual spells, you can. You don't even have to change a lot of this up to do that. But this is what I'm going to try to run for my Cyberpunk game. And I'm really hoping it works well. So, yeah, thank you.